I'm gonna go ahead and get that. And
Take Social Security, it's like 62 weeks. You're gonna do mine 10%.
Or you basically do the you have a word and everything. Oh, you do. You're all set.
right. Say it.
Shouting things. Yep.
We've got that all set up. For our kids.
Thank you, Heather.
What else?
I'm gonna put a Bighorn teacher of the year out there.
They can't touch it. They can't do what you want them
What? Who's on the list?
So they sent the two boys. Making my quota when they walk. They don't do that.
We're dollars. She can't say this forward. Happy birthday. Bring me to celebrate, man. We're doggy people.
Hey, how are you?
I can't get it to Hi,
That's
Yeah, so it's at the Ramada Plaza, that hotel right there. Yeah. It's kind of right behind Petco, and then if you come in the doors by the conference center, which is on the north side, you can get to it by any door. Thank you. Bye. Okay, what else?
to say that kind of stuff.
You're about to right here. Let's begin. Are you going to go ahead and run the meeting for a vote today?
Is the Google feed running?
I will get it started.
People can't get into the Google meeting.
Yeah, let's wait and make sure we have that. Thank you from that.
First, my name is
Travis,
Casey
wait,
Meadows.
Casey, just a minute, please. Travis, come here, please. Oh, you're not.
We'd like to thank the Westcasters for organizing this and getting everybody in the press room. Are you ready?
Yeah, that is.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Casey Meadows. Currently, I am the chairman of the board. And I've been to 2 annual meetings, and we always start them out by everybody introducing themselves, because there's a lot of people here who might not know everybody.
So I appreciate that, Casey. Here's a microphone. And this is the discussion that he and I have been having, is the protocol for the meeting today. On the petition, which I believe was signed by 80%. And again, just like the plat, it's pretty ironclad, I think we all agree on it. And the covenant. And the covenant, it talks about the majority of people making a decision if there's an impasse. And more than 80% chose to have a meeting and do the nominees and do the vote. So that's the question in mind. And the introductions is absolutely normally what we would do. However, in this case, the petition validates a different course. So did you want to respond to that, Casey?
Hold on a minute here. As you can see, we've got a long list of people that want to run for the board. Probably more than ever, I would think. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the petition was a petition, okay? I don't even really think it was necessary because as I stated to everybody, we were gonna have our meeting before the end of May. We'll get this all settled before the end of May. So I don't think we should be pushed to have the vote tallies all tonight. Because a lot of these folks haven't even stated why they wanna run yet, and everybody should be able to see that. So my question is, according to the covenants, everybody in the plat should have a vote. And the only way we can do that, because a lot of people don't show up to this meeting, is having paper ballots. So what I'm telling you is we need to get a ballot out via email to everybody by tomorrow. We've already prepared that. And it's a ballot. It's not a petition. There's a difference between a ballot and a petition. Okay? So I want to see a hands. Do you guys want to push it and get people voted tonight?
How about we stand up? Stand up. If you guys agree to proceed with the vote today.
I want to know why we wouldn't.
What about, we have that every year in the past.
It's how you were voted in. You were voted in like that.
Max, are you able to show the room the magnitude of how many people are standing up?
Where's the
Just pick up this. You just pick up.
Well, it's not.
Can you see it behind you, Max?
You have elections, you have times to vote. Not everybody in the world votes in the United States. This is our time.
Yes.
Now is when we vote.
I completely agree.
It's at our meeting.
It's how Casey was voted in.
So Casey, I think there's a large majority of people that are here. just like the 80%, which was more than 50 signees.
What 80% are you talking?
Did you not get the copy of the petition? You know that?
I got a copy of the petition, but just claiming you got 80% doesn't mean that.
I'm happy.
How did you have?
I'm by the.
How many votes did you get?
52.
Who are those people?
They're all on the petition. You're more than happy to go through and read it. I did bring a copy.
Well, let you used an accurate job.
Petition was presented to me as having a meeting, not having a vote. Simply, I was told that that only represented having a meeting, not coming and having a vote.
On the petition, it clearly stated at the above, and I'm happy to get it. I emailed it several times.
That doesn't make a difference.
So it's clearly written on there, and so I'm happy for you guys to
I'd
dispute
like
it.
to make a motion for us to vote for new ACC forum.
I'll second that motion.
Well, so
I got a Jack.
Okay, well then we have a discussion about it.
is there a discussion about the objection?
Well, before we go on, do we want everybody to introduce themselves or?
There's a motion.
There's a motion on the floor.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye. A motion.
I
Vote.
said nay.
Nays?
I think the standing up is pretty significant.
How many nays do we have?
Nay!
We need the people to stand up and count the people.
How about this? If it's okay with you,
Majority, we can just go there.
so you agree that the majority would like to proceed?
But I believe it's against the covenant, and I think everybody should have the opportunity to vote.
Show up.
There's nothing in there. I read the covenants, and there's nothing in there about having a quorum.
Thank you,
Sorry.
sir.
Take the vote.
The covenant
So-
clearly states that
No,
everybody gets a
No, it
vote.
does not.
Could you read that portion of the covenants that
I've
says
read the
that?
covenant inside and out 100 times.
Well, read it to us now.
Well, hold on, give Casey a moment. So he had said that there's a majority here that would like to proceed, right, Casey?
Well, the majority of people do, but you gotta understand that some of these folks haven't even had a chance to tell us why they're running. Only a few have. You gotta give them a couple days.
So I'm gonna, do you mind using the microphone just so people can hear you? So, there you go.
I just think it's unfair if we don't send out a paper ballot for everybody to vote and give these folks.
It's never been done in the past. We've never done
that
that.
means
That's not right.
It's not.
It's nothing until it's done.
And let, please folks, let's keep it simple, okay?
So, Casey, one question I would have is that all the nominees, is there anybody else that would like to be nominated?
Well, you can take one of those nominations off.
Which one would you like to remove?
Madeline Huschel, she refused to come to this meeting because it is not a legally organized meeting.
And so she does not want to be voted for, even though she's not here. Okay. Max, is there anybody in the room that would like to say something about these people? I mean, you wanted them to,
Let me answer this gentleman's question.
okay.
In the event an architectural control committee is formed, it shall be done as follows. The members of the architectural control committee must be owners of tracts in the subdivisions. The 3 nominees receiving the most votes shall serve as members of the committee. Each lot owner should be entitled to 1 vote in these elections. Joint owners of lots shall only have 1 vote. If a person owns more than 1 lot, he will still only have 1 vote. But it says everybody in the subdivision.
They're
Not
entitled.
just the people to show up at a
It says
meeting.
they're entitled to vote. It doesn't
Casey,
say they must vote.
may I answer that? May I answer your question? So to let everybody know, when we did the petition and had 80%, I went to the county courthouse and actually asked them to do the mailing. They said they don't do that unless it's a government meeting, but they can provide the list of all tract owners, even the highway and keyboard. So the mailing was done, and I believe it even says only 10 days. I was going for more than 30. And so there was enough time frame to do the legal mailing out there. I agree that things should be better, but I think the petition stating that 80% want to move forward with this.
This is your ballot. It says right on it, it's a petition.
Well,
There's a difference between a petition and a ballot. Yes. There's no doubt
see that?
about that.
The petition is
So-
requesting the authority.
So under here, it says, for the petition above, we print the names, votes for the following people. So it's a vote. So it didn't say in the petition
It's
to
a
produce a ballot.
petition.
It said,
It's not authorization
It says right here, it's a
to hold
petition. There's a big difference.
an election. Oh,
Clearly says here, members of the committee shall be elected at the annual meeting of the lot owners and shall serve for the term of 1 year.
That's on the bylaws that don't make any sense because they don't apply to the new lots.
who voted for the bylaws?
We are part of the bylaws.
Quiet, everybody, up there you go.
As a point of order, we have a president of who's been elected and is serving, and I don't understand why Matt is trying to run the meeting when we have a president that is that has been voted upon and is representing all of us, and that's part of his job, to run this meeting.
So do you understand that the cease and desist asked him to leave his position?
No,
Are
That's
you aware
not
of
the
that?
reason, that's not the reason behind the cease and desist, and that's not the reason that he was asked to resign. The reason he was asked to resign is that we have a board on the ACC that's not legally connected to JDS.
But he was asked to resign.
No.
No.
Yes, he was.
It's not really a
So-
real organization.
so I'm not trying to take away his position tonight. I'm just suggesting that the order of events should be to assemble, to nominate,
I'm
and
not
vote.
even running, so you're gonna be rid of me anyhow. That's what everybody wants, you know? But I think we should do it fairly. And as I stated in an email to everybody, that we will have this all done by the end of May.
So the vote tonight, as a petition, the room was rented for this particular position, is to move forward. So are you interfering with what was written on?
You are interfering.
I think every dues paying member should have the opportunity
didn't
to
pay
vote
dues.
with a paper ballot.
No, it doesn't say that in the covenant. It doesn't say that in the covenant.
ballot in this covenant. Show it, right now.
I've been asked to resign several times this year. And all we're trying to do is fix something that we believe is broken.
But wait a minute, it was fixed. Everything was fine. And I'm sorry, you guys, I gotta say it. Everything was fine until you came on the board. We didn't have these issues. We all got along as neighbors. But when you two came on, hey, just a minute. When you two came along, it all went to hell.
So,
You were just fine. So tell me right now, what is your agenda? What are you after?
I don't know.
I wanna know, what are you after?
We're trying to make.
I didn't ask you.
This organization
Hey,
better.
I didn't ask you,
And I didn't ask you anything either, you're just a homeowner, so.
you guys,
I'm a homeowner out there, so I can ask the question.
is it
Right,
okay
I
if
can ask questions too.
is it all right if?
Quit interrupting him.
To my ballot that was attached to the email, here's my vote, and I will not be staying.
Here, come here. There's an official ballot right here.
So Casey, I'll ask again, are you interfering with this to nominate and vote today?
Yes, I am.
So then, so if you're gonna go against that, then that is clearly as,
If you have read the cease and desist, if you have looked at everything we put out there in the last several months, we really are not even part of Jeffries' draw.
Check that with the stamp in the Casey. Mr. Meadows, I would like to say this to you. The covenants also state that a meeting is called in March. You failed to do that. You disappeared for several months. You were derelict in your duty to run this subdivision.
Hold on. So right now, we're order, are you stepping out? Are you stepping out?
I'm not gonna have any part of this illegal activity, I'll tell you that right now.
So we're gonna move forward. If you're stepping out, I'm gonna hand it over to the next board member, which would be Max. I'm not a board member. I'm just petitioning that we move forward on our vote.
It's not following my life. All I'm trying to do is make it right, that's all.
Okay, so you're removing yourself tonight, and Max will then proceed with the meeting? Okay, very good. Max? So, if you don't feel that she deserves to be on there, you can certainly choose not to vote for her. I'm gonna hand over the microphone number to Max. He's the remaining board member. Max, are you gonna go ahead and explain what we're doing?
Yes. I can speak loud enough, I think everybody can hear me. Everybody hear me in the back, or no?
No, people on Google Drive.
Oh, pardon me, I apologize. I think, we just need to cool down for a minute. I think it's understanding that, we should have the vote today. And if it's okay with Matt, I think it'd be fine if any of the nominees would like to come up and say a few words about themselves, if you don't know anything about them. Yes, Matt?
Overall, do we get the opinion it's okay to take a minute if they want to have the opportunity? Yes. Thank you, Max.
Mr. Urso, would you like to come up and say something?
Start.
Sure.
Come use the microphone.
Right, Rick Urso, my wife and I, Patricia, moved in December of last year on 2 Picard, which is lot 1. But anyway, when we were first looking to move to Sheridan, I remember sitting down with my realtor and saying, look, here's what we want, don't want any HOAs. And there was reasons I didn't want an HOA. Exactly what's happening here is what we did not want. However, it filled all the boxes, so here we are. Now, one of the issues that I have is the way that we're fighting over certain issues that can be resolved, my opinion, pretty easily if we were all organized and willing to negotiate. Now, the reason I want to run is, one, I'm a newcomer. I'm really upset with what's going on being somebody new here. I've sat on multiple boards, 30 plus years of experience on boards and committees, and serving as president with Meineke Car Care Centers, representing our franchisees with our franchisor. So I know how boards run, there's a protocol. I don't see any organization or protocol here, which really bothers me, because when I read covenants and bylaws, I'm thinking, all right, this is okay, but it's not okay. I see no organization, I see no transparency, there's fighting over money, and you know what, it's gotta stop. So I think if there's a proper board, and it's run like a board, okay, the way a board should be run, and there's people that are responsible and accept a fiduciary responsibility, I think a lot of things will prevail, and you know what, things will move forward. Otherwise, forget it. This is the most unorganized association I've ever seen been part of, and I'm embarrassed by it, to be honest with you. So I think I can offer a fresh opinion, not having much history behind this other than what I'm reading. And folks, it's gotta stop. So, that's the reason I wanna run. So, yeah.
Hey, Rick, I appreciate everything, I'm Robert, by the way, I appreciate everything you just said. What I'm wondering, besides what you already articulated, and I think you'll get 100% agreement here with that, is how do you see, in other words, there are folks here, I'll start this way. Last year, when we chose a board, I think, at least I'm speaking for myself, everybody kind of walked away going, well, for the most part, things are gonna go as they've been going. With regard to the CCRs, the feel of the neighborhood, what we all bought, right? What do you see for yourself? If you could do whatever you wanted to do, how would you change the neighborhood, or what do you appreciate about the neighborhood that you would just leave it alone?
Yeah, no, that's fair. I think a lot of things need to change. First of all, it needs to change with the board. In my opinion, I don't think 3 people are enough on the board. I think there needs to be more. I think any ambiguity with the covenant and the bylaws has to be changed. I think we all have to be in agreement for that. Most importantly, I think I would want committees, financial committees, that overlook vendors, and those committees are responsible to come to the board and suggest for the board to vote on what vendors we might use for certain things, what needs to be changed here or there, and there needs to be complete transparency. And unless you have a proper board with the right committees, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen.
But would you please answer the B part about what you like about the neighborhood, what is good that you wouldn't want to see change, and what changes would you be interested in making?
The neighborhood is awesome. What I'd like to see is street parties, and more get-together.
Yeah. Sorry.
And that's just the way community should be. Love it out here. It's quiet. It's peaceful. We moved from Chicago, and I'll tell you what, it's like a whole different lifestyle here. I don't want to change a thing as far as that goes. What I want to change is the internal stuff, which really needs to be changed.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Rick went over his time limit, so we're gonna get rid of everything he said. I'm just kidding. I am reminded that we should put a time limit on it, so we're just gonna do 5 minutes per person. That sounds fair with everyone? Great.
Yep.
Joan, do you wanna say anything?
Sure.
Great. Joan Schmeichel? Schmeichel, pardon me. Lot 9 on Picard.
Hi everybody, I'm Joan Schmeichel. My husband and I moved here in 2023 when our house was finished on Picard. It is our dream home, and it is our dream neighborhood. Like Rick said, I think a lot of things that need to change are with the structure. There is no documentation, there's no structure, we're not legally compliant with the IRS or with the Secretary of State per se until just this year. So we really need to change the covenant to actually allow for a homeowners association so that we can actually work as a homeowners association. Currently, we are not a homeowners association legally. So as you can see from my email, if you read it last night, I have a 32 plus year legal experience. I work mostly with intellectual property, which is patents, trademarks, trade secrets, managing intellectual property for large to mid-sized companies. I also have negotiated contracts, written contracts, and I can read contracts. So that's one good thing, that I can read a covenant, that I can see about some specific, really good changes to the covenant to make it readable for everybody, not so much ambiguity in the covenant, because people are saying it means this or that or this. You really need to make it modernized so that we can know what the covenant says. And so that the hardest part is going to be to get this group of people, plus the people on Google or at home that didn't show up tonight, to actually vote at an 80% to make a change to the covenant. And that's an amendment to the covenant, not a complete change, it's just amending the areas that need to be fixed. And so I think I bring a lot of experience with my legal background. I am very good at documenting everything and sharing that out on OneDrive or Google or wherever, so that everybody has transparency of all the meetings that are happening.
Hi, I wanted to ask you, if you would please tell us why you had a meeting that excluded Cessna and, Piper. I just wanted to know what that was.
The meeting was, from my attorney that we hired to figure out what was going on with the covenant, and what our rights were. And so it was regarding a cease and desist, so that, Ann Perkins would stop collecting money from the lot owners on Picard and Claver, so that we could get this figured out, and we could figure out what happened in 2023, 24, 25. And so the cease and desist was for lots on Picard and Claver, and those lot owners were invited to the meeting. We recorded the meeting, we shared the meeting, and we shared the transcript so that everybody would understand what happened at that meeting.
Could you please explain why you filed with the Secretary of State as a separate subdivision from Jeffries Draw?
We didn't file as a subdivision, we filed
It
as.
says Jeffries Draw, Fox Hollow and Jeffries Draw subdivision.
So the subdivision is called Jeffries Draw subdivision. We are Fox Hollow at Jeffries Draw
How is that a
subdivision.
separate entity from Jeffries Draw subdivision?
It's a subcommittee that was board approved, and we were gonna
But
make
not
this.
voted on 80/20.
It was a board decision. It doesn't need to, I don't think you wanna, unless you want a meeting every other month to figure out what you want as a subcommittee or a sub-association or a subcommittee. Just like I think Rick was talking, we need committees for specific purposes. But because we were going to be fiscally responsible for monies coming in and paying out to vendors, that's why it was filed with the Secretary of State.
Did you know that you didn't have to file with the Secretary of State if you were an architectural consultancy with
So
less
was it-
than 100 people?
So because you're less than 100 people, you didn't comply with what a unincorporated nonprofit was. The law changed in 2010, so if you were under 100 and you were acting as a homeowners association or an ACC getting money, you would have to file with the Secretary of State. If you were an unincorporated nonprofit, the board and the treasurer are fully responsible to be sued directly if there's a problem.
Did you send out an invoice stating you were an HOA and take dues from people in our neighborhood on Picard and Conver, and tell them that they had to pay you, Casey's house, the dues, and to not pay Ann Perkins?
The sub-association was set up.
No,
and-
it says HOA on the invoice, HOA.
Let her answer, Carol. Go ahead.
I would like to answer, but I keep getting interrupted. So it was basically a sub-association, a sub-homeowner association. That's why it said that on.
It says HOA, which is, I have a copy of the card. It says
So-
Jeffries
But you
Draw,
made that
Fox Hollow and Jeffries Draw, HOA.
approval
Let her
of,
answer.
It was a board motion, I was just following instructions from the board. So at this point in time, I don't wanna stay up here and be persecuted, I'm just telling you what I could bring to this position.
Joan, are you okay with one more question?
Yes.
Sorry, my only question is if the board can supersede the covenant and say you have a majority to break apart, could the next board not immediately vote to change that?
Maybe we should get it.
The way things work. And the reason I ask is because I think that's the point of the covenant, is to stop 2 or 3 people from just making a decision.
That's correct.
But there was no, deadlock with the board.
Well, I'm not saying there was, I'm just saying, but could the next board not just say, everything that happened in 2025, no
going, we're going back to the way we were.
Well, with the cease and desist, you can't do anything until that's actually settled.
Joe, I'm sorry.
Is
this supposed to be questions or not an order?
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
if he repeats the question.
You know what, yeah, please do.
Yeah.
All I said was, if the previous board can supersede.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sir.
Oh, sure, we'll invite, yes, Mr. Amon's wife. Sorry, Mr. Amon's wife wants to join. Yes, the question was, should 3 people, oh, go ahead.
If 3 people or 2 out of 3 people can supersede our covenants, then what would stop us every year from switching boards and going back and forth in this yin-yang of
Exactly.
craziness?
Yes. That's the point of the covenants.
But if it's not legally established, you don't have any basis of law.
Steve Hilco, are you here? Hey, Mr. Hilco. Steve Hilco, lot 13, Card Road. There you go, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My wife and I, Cheryl, are probably the newest people in lived in Wyoming 5 years.
Can you use the microphone a little bit?
Okay, sorry. Like I said, we're some of the newest people. I think we just moved in February. We've lived in Wyoming 5 years, in Sheridan. And we love the neighborhood and everything, but I think the thing that just bothers me the most is constantly seeing emails from individuals, board members, secretaries, all sitting there voicing opinions, all sitting there demanding people resign. The board and association, whether you like it or not, should be speaking with one voice and should be communicating to everybody. And I guess that's my big thing is we need to have very good communication out there in that the board is set up that the communication, if there are any amendments to the covenant, that it's communicated to everyone, it allows them to vote on, whether we do a vote through the whole association, which needs 80%, but it is set up that way. Any financial, because a lot of the things as I understand are based on financial things that have happened. Again, I don't know the truth, we haven't been here long enough to know what's really going on. But I do know that when I ask around, I get totally conflicting information about what's actually going down. And I think getting that information out to everybody clearly, every time there's an expenditure, beyond just obviously paying for the electricity for the sign or for whatever. There should be an annual report, first of all, to everybody saying all the expenditures, what happened that year, what was taken in, what went out. If there's anything unexpected that comes up, unexpected repairs, unexpected liabilities, that should be communicated to everyone within the association. Right now, I don't know what the hell the truth is, to be perfectly honest. I mean, we're sitting here, my wife and I are reading all these things, and we don't know who to believe or what to believe on any of it. And I just think right now, if we could get something set up, like I said, a board that has very good communication through, I think there are some things, I've been on several boards, there are a lot of conflicting things between the initial covenants and the bylaws afterwards, but there's things that can be cleaned up. The problem is right now, there's so much animosity between everybody as to what these issues are. I don't think half the people have really read it. I've read them 6 times, but I don't know that fully understand so. And I've heard one lawyer give an opinion on it. I've heard what the other lawyer said, and there's obviously some conflicts here. But I mean, right now, nobody's willing to even talk to each other. There's a lot of personal animosity between people. I can't figure out when I talk to people why exactly. So like I said, I just think we need to get a board that sits there, communicates with everybody, explains why we're looking at things, why we're doing them, and that's what I'd like to bring to the table. Any
questions for Mr. Hilco? Any questions for Steve?
I'm always out working my yard right now, I'm trying to plan along, so stop by anytime.
Yes.
Good job, Steve.
Great job. Yes. I don't think Justin Adrian's here, unfortunately.
He is.
Oh, is he?
He is.
Oh!
He was hiding.
He just got done golfing.
So to be totally honest, I feel very obligated for the problem that we created. So I wanted to run for this board and try to help this situation. To be totally upfront and honest with everybody, I'm not a resident here. here. I love this town, I love this community, and I've really enjoyed what we're doing with the neighborhood. Our idea with this whole thing was to just piggyback what Jeffries Draw had started. We had this opportunity to come in and throw a bomb in here and blow things up, and we didn't want to. We wanted to go with what was 30, 40 years in the past, it was working fine. So it's been a hard point from our contention to be in the middle, and I've been that way. I've tried to support the people that have bought our lots and continued building houses and continuing the beautiful neighborhood, but I also support Jeffries Draw and what has happened in the past. So it's been very difficult in our situation to try to resolve this, and that's why I'm putting myself in this position to try to help with this. I've tried to work with Casey, tried to work with Max and tried to resolve this, and I think we're at this point where this is a good starting point to get a resolution to move forward. So that's really the only reason, my only qualification, other than we still own 16 lots, so we're still hoping to move forward and sell those lots and continue the beautiful neighborhood that, you know, started in the 70s and 80s. So that's just kind of where we stand, and hopefully we can get by this and bring this neighborhood back together and move forward.
Any questions for him?
Yeah, what's his name?
Oh.
Isn't it true that you bought that property and piggybacked in on the plats that were already in place so that you didn't have to meet the current requirements that a subdivision would have to meet? You are only having to meet requirements that were in place in 1980, which is a huge financial benefit to you. And I question your sincerity in running for the board when you're so heavily financially involved in it.
No, I understand. And to be totally honest with you, when this was plotted in the 70s, you know, and I don't know, my brother-in-law is a Sheridan resident. He got us involved in this, and there's some family drama that you know, I'd love to sit down and talk to you about, but we wrote this out. We got into this because it was plotted out. Everyone that advised us, it was plotted out, and we just ran with it. Honestly, I didn't go one way or the other because of this or that. It was plotted in the 70s and 80s, and I don't know how accurate that is, but a long time ago, Kevin Fox was gonna develop it, and I don't really know the history of it, to be totally honest with you. But it was already the road. There's probably some things we would have changed, but it's simpler just to run with what was plotted and what was developed, what was started. So that was our idea, was just coming into this situation with what we had on the table and moving forward with that, rather than redrawing lot lines and things like that. It would have been a huge hurdle.
I just want to address that. I mean, it's a business decision. It was totally legal, completely makes sense, and to be attacked for that, I think is unreasonable.
I just want to say that I believe that a developer of a subdivision has a huge conflict of interest to be on the architectural control committee.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna do what's best for the neighborhood. I wanna.
You're right. You want to sell lots.
That's okay, Justin. It's okay. I just wanted to respond to some of that because he doesn't know it, but I had other clients out in the market. So, and there's different people that are looking to buy raw land and develop it, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper. So the price tag that it went for was really expensive because the subdivision was already done. That was one of the benefits of it. The other thing that I've worked with, as I've been very public about the different lots and working with builders. So when, and anybody that's done new construction, they purchased through Justin and the company, then the buyer or the individual has to submit their plans. It's not to Justin. So it's the individual buyer of the lot that submits plans. So I just wanted to clarify some of those things, so he wouldn't be approving somebody else's plans, and he could certainly bow out if there is a conflict. Oh, sorry, I wasn't talking loud enough. Any other questions or statements, or?
Matt, if he was on the board of the ACC, he would be approving the plans.
He can certainly choose to remove himself. Do you wanna take my?
No.
Okay.
But and to respond to you, I wouldn't want, and I don't know what you're implying, that I would approve a house that didn't fit the neighborhood. My idea was always to build beautiful homes that fit in the neighborhood. I guess if that's what you're implying, I would be the one, to me, that would say, we're gonna keep our standard higher. That would be our goal. I wanna sell lots, that's the goal. I'd love to live here one day. I love the neighborhood, I love the city of Sheridan. So I wanna keep that level of respect in Jeffries Draw to a higher standard. And that was always our intention with Fox Hollow at Jeffries Draw. We were just that, I call it we were that second leg or third leg or whatever that would be to finish the neighborhood out of what was plotted in the 70s and 80s was all our intention was, so.
Last little comment, if you don't.
You made a statement a little bit ago about Kevin Fox was going to develop this earlier. What was your?
Well, no, I don't.
missed that.
I probably misspoke. It was developed in the 70s and 80s while Kevin Fox owned the property. I don't know if he had any intention to develop it or do anything with it, but it was.
Kevin Fox was the property.
Kevin Fox didn't own it.
Well, whoever, I'm sorry.
His dad.
Okay, so I misspoke, but all I'm saying was it was developed in the 70s or 80s. I don't know who did it, who owned the property when they did it. It was just developed back then, so we just rolled with it. We just rolled with what was on the table to continue moving and trying to bring nicer houses or nice houses to Sheridan.
Thanks, Tristan.
Yeah. The last comment I'll just throw out is, I got to listen to a lot of people fight for the north, fight for the south, but the people that were saying, hey, I wanna work towards resolution, those are the ones that I got my nominated to. That's who I nominated, just to let you know.
Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Justin.
300 seconds?
Sure. And just because I don't know if you guys had read my email, I spent 30 years in the fire service and spent 10 of those years as a board member, as a treasurer for our union board. I've obviously negotiated with cities, with attorneys, read a lot of contracts, dealt with a lot of arbitration, and ultimately it really kind of boils down to putting the right people in a room and talking through your issues, because the worst part is, I have kind of a saying, and I'm sure you may have all heard it, but facts don't care about your feelings, and you need to remove them, because in the long run, there are very real issues that are actually facts. What they brought as far as bringing an attorney was correct. When you read those, because we sat down and read them, some of those, the literature there is actually factual, that you need to be able to be doing things a certain way. And whether they were done incorrectly or not doesn't need to be rehashed. We could sit in this room and go over that a lot, okay? But the fact is, we all in this room volunteer ourselves with some or no training to do some kind of point of helping this community out. And I've watched this even when I was, as a person who was a captain on the fire service, and I watched people volunteer to take positions in the long run, and they mess things up. All right, I was a part of the, problem of having to turn something over to somebody else and watched it fall apart, okay? So it doesn't mean that the folks that were on the board in the past or on the board now, ultimately, if you're looking to change them and put some people in the room that can actually just say, look, we may not make everybody happy here, okay? But if you don't worry about that, and you say we wanna go forward somewhere, that's what you're looking for. Because otherwise you wouldn't be in here with everybody being as upset as you are right now. Because you wanna have something that's either written down, that everybody's gonna follow, and that you're ultimately gonna end up being able to say, hey, I may not be happy with these things, but I'll be happy enough. So that's why I said, you know, you gotta put the right people in the room that can sit down and talk it out, whether or not you agree or not, but we don't, I don't know that everybody in this room should be in the same room together. But I think we ought to have a few people in the room that can sit there and discuss something to get past some of these issues and put something down, update the covenants, manage the finances a different way. I have plenty of experience with that. I managed way more money than what this HOA or ACC takes in. And in the long run, that has to be done correctly and transparent. And I realize that, you know, I'm not pointing it at Ann because she's not doing something correctly. That part, you guys gotta get past that, all right? You gotta look past that and say, let's just put some folks in there and we'll expect something a little different, so.
Any questions for Mr. Flake? Great. Ms. Bledsoe, would you like to say anything?
I'm Mary Ann Bledsoe. This isn't a position that I was particularly lobbying for, but I had a business experience, and I believe in transparency, and I believe in trying to work together, and I think that whoever is elected needs to keep in mind that they need to represent everyone, that they can't go into this position with just a strictly personal view. They need to think about what's best for our entire community and try to work it out. One thing that I would really suggest is having open meetings by the ACC and have perhaps quarterly meetings so that we could get together and talk about issues. And the covenants certainly need to be gone over and made clearer and simpler so that they can really be understood and so that we can know what we're working with. If anybody has any questions for me, I'll be happy to try to answer them.
Thanks, Ms. Bledsoe. Is Ann Perkins here? Oh.